Well, hello, Stampers. It's the Pampered Stamper. My name is Jackie VanderSar-Boot, and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in both Canada and the Netherlands. It is the first Wednesday of the month, and that means it's time for the Global Monthly Video Hop. So you get to join me and lots of other talented demonstrators from around the world. And today we are opening up the new annual catalog. So for my card, I have something from the new catalog. I have a returning set from the new annual catalog, and I want to talk about something that I missed out on that maybe you will still want to get. So, are you curious? Let's take a look. So, here you have the brand new annual catalog. And what I want to show you, I'm not going to walk you through the whole thing. This is the stamp set that I absolutely love the most. It's called The Right Words. And I'm going to use I Know a Good Thing When I See It, and I see lots of good things in you. What's really nice about this stamp set is that it comes in all four of the languages. So here it is in Dutch, the treffende toon, and lots of really great words. Met jou is het ieder dag weer een feest. It's always a party with you. And so not all of these are completely translated word for word. So yeah, ik word vrolijk als ik aan je denk. I just get happy when I think of you. And that isn't here exactly. So yeah, it's a great set. So that's the new one that I'm using. And then if you go to page 100, so back here it shows you returning faves, stamps, and tools. So here, if you bought something last year, there's going to be more inspiration for you. And here is the other set that I'm using. It's called Layers of Beauty. And you'll see that it has dies and it has masks, decorative masks. I have looked everywhere, so these decorative masks might be in Canada, or maybe I decided I didn't need them, and I am superly, if that's a word, regretting that, because take a look at this. Here's the card I was hoping to make. And you're thinking, well, if you're hoping to make it, how come you have it in your hands? Well, it was given to me by my dear friend, Caroline. And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, how did she color those flowers? It looks like a, and then I see that the two big flowers are colored exactly the same way. And I finally clued in and I thought, oh, decorative masks. And I don't have it. So I'm going to show you a different trick to color, but you're going to see that it gives you a totally different look than what the masks do. So it's a beautiful set. I love this card because it looks like a tile wall. It looks like Delft-Blau tiles. The other returning favorite is this punch. I forget what it's called. And then there is a stamp set that goes with it that's also in Dutch and in English. It's this one. And there's another one that goes with it, and I think it's called Hearts and Hugs or Hugs and Hearts or something like that. So yeah, that's a great one as well. So we're going to get started. We are going to start with a square. I'm just trying to find all my stuff. And we're using a new color called Secret Sea. So the card base, I'm using European cardstock, so the card front is about 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. It's basically just 14.85 centimeters, and then it's a piece of cardstock folded in half, okay? So in Canada, it would be 5.5 by 11 scored at 5.5, and then the square is 5 inches square, okay? And now we're gonna stamp on the square, and then we're going to cut the square, so you need 2 of those squares. So 2 squares that are each 5 inches. And hopefully I didn't mess that up. So let's get the big stamp here. And we're going to ink it up in Secret Sea. I guess I just need one of these. I got it dirty though. A little foundation on there. We'll use this one. Always wash your hands if you put makeup on. And I find that I've done it a few times and I still make a mess. Now I've lost my ink pad. You know what, guys? Oh, my punch is on top of it. Here we go. My screen seems really dark. It's not. Okay, so Secret Sea. And tap, tap, tap. And I don't have a piece of grid paper underneath, so I'm just going to use an old order form. It's not going to look pretty. Here, I have some blender pen refill on there. I'm telling you, all the things have been happening. So here we go. Give it a nice firm press. And then I'm going to do this technique right away before I stamp again. I'm using a blender pen, And I'm just going to go over top of the lines, and it just will turn a lighter shade of blue. And I want to do that. You want to do that when your ink is fairly fresh. This is going to give a subtle hint of color. It's not going to give that bold look that you get with the masks. So if you're like me, you have this set and you forgot to get the masks, well then you can do this technique. And it works really well with the smaller images because you get a little bit more ink. So I'm basically just going over top of the inked lines and bringing in the color. But it's a subtle look, okay? And so for the big flowers, I might have to add in some more color. It works great for the little leaves, and here you'll see how well it works for the little flowers because there's more ink. So make sure you check the instructions, the description underneath the YouTube video. There's a little word, it says show more. Click on that, and then you'll get the complete description. You'll get links to shop with me in my online store for Canada. If you want to shop with me in Europe, just type Jacomina, Jacomina in the demonstrator locator, and I'll pop right up. At this point, I can't afford to pay for the demonstrator website in both countries, so I haven't done it in Holland yet. So when I build my client base here, then I'll do it, because it is a good resource. Anyway, you can see how I can just get this out of here now. Take a peek. See? So you can see the light color coming in here. And you can see also that I'm just giving it a quick scribble over top. You don't have to get all particular. That's really nice. So it's a quick technique, except that there's a lot of coloring to do. But it's really pretty and really subtle. Okay, now we have to do a little bit more stamping there, because we don't want big white spots on our card. Just want to make sure I've got everything. Okay, so we're going to stamp again and fill up our, I'm going to see if I can get more of the small flowers so I don't have to do, so I get nicer coloring. We're going to do this. See, and then I guess you don't have to watch me do everything, but you see how nicely that goes? So I'll just finish coloring this so that I don't bore you, and then we'll jump back into cutting it all up, okay? So here you can see I have finished my light coloring, and it's really light. It's just very subtle. Now I'm taking the Secret C marker, the broad tip, and I'm just flicking to get some spatters going. And again, it's just a subtle spatter. There we go. That looks pretty good. Now we're going to get our paper trimmer in. You can see, I'm just going to lift it up. See? Okay. Now you know on my next order I'm getting those masks. So now I'm taking this, I'm really hoping I cut this square. For some reason, it's 5 inches by 5 inches. Yes, it's square. So we're going to cut the squares at 1 1/4 inches. So 1 1/4, and I'm just going to move it off to the side. Let me just zoom out because I'm way too in. So here, and 1 1/4. It's really important to keep the, I don't want to have to make a puzzle afterwards, so I'm keeping my pieces in 1 1/4. There we go. Let's get the blade over here. And now we're going to, and I guess I could write on the back, but I'm not going to do that. Now we're doing 1 1/4 this way. So this is not a technique if you don't like taking your time. It takes a little bit of time. And if you are really OCD and it has to be perfect, also might not be your technique. Unless you love a challenge. So here we have our first row, and I'm just going to turn them like so. because we are now going to put those on this square. I have another 5-inch square, and actually that doesn't make any sense. It has to be a bit bigger. So I've made a mistake, I think. 5 1/4, because if I put these on, it'll fit exactly, and it has to have room in between. So this needs to be at least 5 3/8, probably bigger yet. Okay, so a mistake has been made. I'm going to cut a bigger piece and let you know how that goes. Okay, so my square to cut the things was 5 inches. This is going to be 5 3/8, which means it'll fit also on the 5.5-inch square card that we're going to do in North America. So this is 5 3/8, and that's what we're going to put our squares on. And I'm going to start with these, and these ones go right to the edge. Okay, and then we'll leave a little bit of a space. So I'm thinking if we do the 2 outside edges first, then the rest will just line up. Okay, so let's get that going. There we go. Let's get our adhesive. We're going to use a liquid adhesive. So what's neat about this technique is that the outside rows go right to the top and to the edge. So that really helps to line it up. So we'll start with the top and the bottom, and they're going right to the edge, top and side. Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to do the bottom, and then the other 2 are going to go, oh my, and make sure your liquid adhesive doesn't go all the way to the edge or it's going to ooze. So I'm hoping I did that correctly. I did. Okay, good. So now I'm going to just kind of eyeball this to make sure that my little, see, and I'm thinking the OCD person would have to draw a grid, and I'm just going to eyeball, okay? So let's just slide this down. And it helps to use a fuller Tombow, not one that's almost empty. So here we go. And then I'm going to do the last row so that I can eyeball it. So what I'm going to do is the last row, then I'm going to do the top 2, the bottom 2, and we'll go from there. So I'm just going to put these up here so that they're not in my way. We're going to cut this one, and I'm cutting them at 1 1/4. So here we go. 1 1/4, that's not good. One of my blades just fell out. 1 1/4, and move it off to the side. This is really important to be organized. 1 1/4. Here. This is the kind of card that you don't give to everybody. This is a card that you give to your crafty friend, to someone who understands the amount of work. I gave a card this morning to my nose surgeon. I have to have apparently I have a deviated septum. So that has to be repaired. And then the flesh at the back of my throat is getting soft, probably with age. And he's going to do something there too to tighten things up so that I don't snore so loudly. He's in there anywhere. It's not supposed to be a big deal. But anyway, I gave him some cards, and he goes, oh yeah, these are not like the cards my mother used to make. He was quite impressed. Okay, so now I have these 2. And you know what? I'm going to do the other 2 in the middle as well. So there we go. And I'm just going to flip them over like this and do both the glues at the same time. So yeah, so what I'm trying to say is that the surgeon also appreciated the artistic effort that went into making the cards. So you know what? It's nice to bless people with our work. And I'm guessing too, I baked some muffins for him too, because they asked me what I did, and I said, well, I'm the Pampered Stamper, and I'm pampered because I like to bake and cook. So I think that one's not perfect. That's okay. And so I said, I bake for my people. And so I told them the next time I came, I would bake for them. So I'm going to cut this bottom one off, 1 1/4. And I'm just going to put that one like here. I'm going to cut the bottom off of this one. And then, yeah, I guess it's important for you to see me do all the steps. See, I get a little impatient, and I think maybe that you're getting impatient too, and then I just want to rush ahead. But you actually do want to see all the steps. I'm sure you do. And if you don't, guess what? There's a fast forward button. So there we go. Now we're going to flip them both. Put the adhesive on. So you know what? This is the happy business. I'm competition for Hallmark, and this is just so much more meaningful than a Hallmark card. I hope I don't get sued for libel, but someone's made it. You've made a card with somebody in mind. And there we go, right to the edge. And now I guess I don't have to, like, you can figure out your own method for this, but I could just work my way up. I don't have to do this and then fill in the middle ones. So just don't get your pieces mixed up. So I'm going to cut them all. I'm just laying them here. And then I'm like, oh, now I'm getting mixed up, aren't I? Here, I think that's good. Let's have a look and see how I did. Yes. Yes, it's quite satisfying. It's quite a puzzle, right? Well, we might as well do the last one as well. So 1 1/4, 1 1/4. There. And here we go. All right, let's see how I did. Yep, that's good. That's good. And that's good. Okay. So now I'm going to take these two, oops, and my fingers are getting sticky. And you might be a bit more precise with your glue than I am. That's okay. I think it's kind of cool for you to see how someone who is slightly, perhaps, too easygoing can still make a card look really nice. So if you are a little bit more perfectionist, then your card is going to look just a little bit nicer than mine. And that's okay. That's okay. And, it's not a race. The joy is in the journey. So you do you. It's your card. You're going to get those masks, though, I'm pretty sure, because I'm going to show you the card that Caroline made. And then my card. And you're going to see. And you know what? You might want the simple look better, but I think you're going to want the masks. And then I might add, see, you can see that it's not, see, this is an antique tiled wall. You can see that the spaces aren't perfect. And guess what? The earth is not shattering. And I think it does go that way. Yep, it does. Okay, here we go. And then we have to tie our twine around it. We have to stamp our saying. Oh, and that goes right to the top, so that's easy. Oh yeah, I definitely see that I'm not perfect. Well, it's not a shock to me. Doesn't surprise me. And it's okay. Perfectly imperfect. There we go. Oh, and you know what else? Oh no, it's good. I thought maybe Caroline had popped them all up, but they're not. The whole layer is popped up. So now we're going to find some blue twine in a minute. I have a piece of extra white. So now we're going to take this one and put it on a block. You know what? I've only used one stamp out of here so far. So this is good. And you can see it's kind of a wiggly one. So what you do is you kind of toss it onto your desk, let it fall naturally, and then you're going to take your block and pick it up. When you do that, it's not going to change its shape, and it will match your punch. Okay, so let's get the Secret C. Secret C is basically a really dark blue. It's almost a black blue. And I'm going to do 2 so that you can see what happens. Oops, I just look at that. Do you get ink on your fingers too? It happens to me with alarming regularity. Okay, so now let's get our blender brand pen and look what happens when I do this. So you're just getting, you can see now that it is a blue. See? There we go. And now, what are we going to say? We're going to say, oh, when I know a good thing when I see it, and I see lots of good things in you. Let's see if it fits. Let's see. Nope. There it is. Now, this is not a photopolymer, but I'm going to trim this stamp a little bit with my craft and rubber scissors. They're retired. I've asked Stampin' Up! To bring them back. Let's see if they listen. See, and when I do this, then I can see, keep your cuts straight. Then you can have a better idea as to the size of your stamp for centering it on your open image. See, and then straight across here. And you know, it might not be much, but it really does make a difference. You don't get that halo effect. So I really like to do this. And then this gets a little tricky in here, so I'm just going to bend this out of the way because I want to keep my cut straight, because otherwise you undermine the integrity of your stamp. Okay, so here we have it. Get rid of all my little bits. And there we go. Now, my fingers are completely inky. That is not a good thing. And now we need the Secret C again. I'm just going to, maybe I want it to go this way, my words. Yeah. And I'll try it the other way and we can see which one we like better. Okay, I'm going to punch them out because now it looks a little bit, does something funny with your head. So slide it in, turn your punch upside down, slide it in, and when it looks good, then you slowly start to clamp down. And after you've clamped down, then you use 2, there. There, so we have that one. So now I'm going to do it again. Slide your paper in, eyeball it, and make your adjustments. When it's good, clamp down a little bit. It holds it in place, and then use two thumbs. Now, which one do we like better? I think, well, I don't know. I do like the crispness of this better than the smudgy one of that. So now I'm going to find some twine here. So it's going to go here. And now some twine. So this is the twine that I have, and I think it came with Nests of Winter, so I'm sorry if it is retired. I try not to use retired product, but sometimes you just can't help yourself. Yeah, what can I say? I'm just going to wrap this around 3 times, and I'm just going to hold this piece here, and then 1, 2, 3, or maybe it's 4 times. And you can just spread this around. Sometimes if you open it, if you curve this, then you can easily move it around to where you wanted it to go. Okay, so we're going to tie it in a bow on this side. There, nice big bow. And here we go. And then we're going to take this and we're going to pop it up. And you know what? It actually covers my big open flower, which I like. So let's get some Stampin' Dimensionals. And then we're going to pop up the whole card on top of our card base. And there should be a little edge all the way around. So remember, the piece that I stamped the flowers on to cut the tiles, it was a 5-inch square. And each square was 1 1/4. And then the piece that I layered it on was 5 3/8. And then it's going to go on a 5.5 by 11-inch card, or 14.85 centimeters times the length of the card, and then scored at 14.85. So here we go, and now we're going to pop that up too. And I'm going to do a little reel on a trick of how to make your dimensionals easier to see, because here it's on white, you can see it quite well, but sometimes you can't see if you've taken the backings off or not. So and you can always tell a stamper's house by if you find some of these backings on the carpet or in the bathroom, the front hall. They tend to migrate everywhere. So there we go. And look at that. We could add a few pearls if you wanted to. There. Now take a look at the difference. So here is my monochromatic card, and it looks nice. It really does. I'm quite pleased with it. I almost decided not to do it. And then here is Caroline's, and look at how different they are side by side. So this one is colored with the decorative masks, and this one is just colored with a blender pen, and you get a completely different look. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope that you enjoy the annual catalog. Here we have it again. There's a couple of things I want to show you. There's some wonderful scrapbooking kits in here. And here, the scrapbooking workshop kits. This one is, there's for big moments, thoughtfully designed, and follow along. So here's the Memories in Bloom. And here is the Turtley Sweet. And then here is the one I want to do in Canada, the Weekend Adventures. This one just has a real rustic feel to it. I love it. So, but what I'm going to do is I'm doing a scrapbooking retreat in September, the week before my St. Jacob's retreat. And you can choose your kit, which one you want to do. And it's going to be in Chatham, Ontario. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me for the Global Monthly Video Hop. Make sure you hop along with everyone else who's busy and participating, because you will be inspired. I can promise you that. Have a super day. And if you have any questions, please message me. Bye.